Live. Once again, we are alive. We're alive. I love that.
It's
It's
alive.
alive. I know. It's crazy. So, how are you today?
Good. Yeah, it's hot as heck, but man, you know, thank God for air conditioner.
Oh, let me tell you. It was a great invention, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
most of the South, I dare say, would never have been settled, or certainly not by, cushy Americans today if it weren't for air conditioners.
Oh, isn't that funny? Yeah, I think that you're absolutely correct. Well, we are going to run over here after we say hello to Lee Roth. Hey, Lee, how you doing, man? Glad you're here. We're going to do a little intro here to let everybody get on, and we'll be right back. All righty, all righty, all righty. That's my version of all right, all right, all right. So, oh man, I tell you, one of the things that we're hearing a lot of is, man, I don't know what to do about my marketing because I have so much work.
Yeah,
I've got too much work. I don't have enough people. This is it's a struggle, and so, it's really interesting because when nobody's working and the phone's not ringing, we just hear so much angst. But it's almost the same kind of angst that we're hearing now. I mean, it's crazy, right?
it's a different problem. Like people like love to say, well, I mean, if you're going to have a problem, that's the kind of problem to have, too much work. But the truth is, it's just as frustrating a problem as not having enough work when
Mhm.
you're watching all of these opportunities just sail by because you can't capitalize on them, and you start wondering if what can be done, and should I even be marketing right now? I mean, if I've got more work than I can get to, should I even be trying to spend any money on marketing or do any marketing activities?
And it's really crazy when you think about it because as marketers, we're always thinking more leads, more leads, more leads. Get our customers more leads. Get them more of what they're searching for. And we've actually had people that have come in and said, "I need 60 leads a week or whatever it is," and they just want to churn through the leads. And there's so many different ways to market and different needs for the way that your company is set up. So I think that's the first thing I want to talk about is what we're going to talk about today works across everybody. Okay? Because I think this is something that it does not matter what your business model is, this is going to work for you. And it also doesn't matter if it's a down market, an up market, an in between market. These are the things you should be doing. Now, so the short answer to that question is yes, you should be marketing. But, but what type of marketing should you be doing? That's really the question that I really want to talk about. So let's talk a little bit. And Carter, I'm going to throw it to you a little right now because I talked all about AdWords last time. So I'm going to make you talk this time.
Yeah, well, I mean, so I think of it this way. I get, you could ask this question, in a different way or using a different analogy. It's like asking, a homeowner, should you put a roof on your house because, today it's not raining? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the answer is, of course, you should put a roof on your house because tomorrow is another day, right? And the weather tomorrow, we don't know. So, marketing is still something that needs to be done. But the kind of marketing that you do when you have all the work that you can get to, or more work than you can get to, is a different, maybe a little bit different strategy than just purely a leads play where you're trying to make your phone ring and get a whole bunch of new people. Let me just start by saying, I think before we get into tactics, before we get into the types of marketing that you can do during this time, I want to say something that I think there's a huge opportunity lurking right under the problem. Okay, when you have too much work, and that opportunity is, there is no better time than right now to raise your prices. Okay. I can't think of a better time to raise prices. If you've got more people that want your services than you can possibly get to, if you raise your prices and lose a few people, what does that mean? It just means that you've still got more work than you can get to, and you can replace the people you lose with new people that come in who are willing to pay this higher price. So it's a really good time to nudge your prices up a little bit, maybe even not a little bit. I honestly, some people that we know probably need to double their prices ASAP. When you're this swamped and you're booked out as far as you are, it's a time to really consider raising your prices. And you'll, number one, if consumers can't find somebody, and chances are you're not the only company out there that can't get to them. Uh, that means that consumers might be willing to pay more if you could get to them. So, you're actually creating a situation where by raising your prices, you're identifying better customers who are willing to pay more and will be happier with the result because you did something for them that they couldn't find anybody else in town to be able to do for them. And so it really is, that's the huge opportunity here that we probably buried the lead here because, that's the real story is that's what it's time to do. So having said that, marketing can do a lot to help you find those kinds of customers, right? The better kinds of customers. That's the other opportunity. When you're spending all day long serving customers that you don't even really like, and you know that there's bigger fish out there that you could be making a lot more money on, stop doing the $400 jobs and start going after the $4,000 jobs. And you can use marketing to help you get in front of the kinds of people that have the bigger jobs that you would rather be doing right now. So that's another great opportunity.
So I wanna tell a story here, but before I do, I want to say hi to Jerry and Renee and Kathy. Thank you guys for being on. Thank you guys, Jerry and Renee, for giving us a thumbs up. That's always a good deal. Renee says, "Hi y'all. I like this one too. I missed it. Very interested in this topic. Fantastic, Kathy. So we're gonna get into that. Um, so here's one of the things I love. This Jeremy. Jeremy Maynard just said, "When you're maxed out on your price, what then?" So I'm going to tell you a story, and this is a true story about my wife. Y'all know she's an interior designer. She used to work a lot with builders, and builders are very price sensitive. So, her price was like $1 a square foot on a house, is what she went into. She hired a coach and a mentor about 2.5 years ago. Now, if I told you that you could raise your prices, uh, not 100%, I don't even know what this is. I think it would be 1,500%, maybe. She now charges $15 a square foot, where 18 months ago she charged $1 a square foot. She does the same work and makes that much more money. And here's the thing, I don't think you ever max your prices out. I don't think your prices get maxed out.
I'd be curious.
If you're still making money, because here's the reason I say that, Jeremy, is you can always go down on your price. If you find that you've gotten so far out that you're losing so much business that you're no longer, and you better know your numbers to know this. If you start losing business and going backwards, then yeah, maybe you're too high. But until that happens, I mean, who says it's a max price?
Yeah, that was going to be my question
Yeah,
for Jeremy was who told you you're maxed out? Because if you're looking at what your competition charges and deciding what you should charge based on what your competition is charging, you're looking in the wrong place to determine what your price is. The only person you should be looking to determine what your price is are your customers.
that's
And
right.
when your customers tell you that's just ridiculous, I can't pay that. And I don't mean a few customers, okay? If you're not priced to where you lose a few because of price, then you're still not high enough, right? So you keep going until finally you reach this point where your customers are like, whew, and you get enough people and you start realizing that you can't book jobs anymore because of price, then you come back down again. But this is the time to test it because, like I said, you got more work than you can get to.
Yeah.
So it's a great time to be raising prices. You don't have to make big jumps. You can do it incrementally, but absolutely, even if you're the highest in the market, Renee,
Mm-hmm.
even when you're the highest in the market, there's still sometimes room to continue going up, but you got to test it.
So Jeremy says that clients complain I'm overpriced, but still book. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, and I'm not saying double your pricing, but you can, kick it up 5-10%. And if they're still booking, they need your services. Really. So it's like real estate. Right now in the real estate market, there's some really hot markets in the United States. And I heard this interview the other day. One of the ladies that was being interviewed said, I'm just so upset because real estate is so high, I can't afford it. And the person doing the interview said, yeah, but apparently somebody can because they're willing to pay it. So I think you have to look at your customer base too. If you're in a customer base that it's they just don't want to afford you or can't afford you, if you want to stay with those people, then yeah, keep your prices. But you want to find those people that are willing to pay the prices for good work and the good service you do. Yeah, you test the market. Really good time to do that. Really good time. And Lee, absolutely. Also a great time to get into branding type advertising, which is, guess what?
You led
Our
right into the
next,
next.
yes, it's
That's right.
exactly where we're fixing to go, Lee.
Great
So
question,
that,
Ian. I
that is
appreciate the heads up,
fantastic.
the assist. Yeah.
So what we're going to talk about is how many home service businesses, what do they do? What do they keep on all the time? Don't turn off, that they just know is standard. And we're going to go into that, exactly what Lee said, is all the different ways that you actually brand your business. Fantastic time to
Taylor, I
brand.
don't remember. Did you say earlier that that we have? I mean, just in looking at all of our clients and the ones that have done really, really well, none of them have stopped their marketing. That they've always marketed in some capacity, but what is it that they're doing? I mean, that's kind of the question
Yeah.
you're asking. I don't remember if you said that or not. I apologize.
Well, yeah, what I went for this particular live is I went back and looked at the clients that we have year end over year that are booked out now. They are just slammed with pretty much everything, that they've got. They're having the same problem everybody else does, but I looked at what they're actually doing, and it's amazing. I've got clients that are so booked out, it's not crazy, and they're still doing AdWords campaign. It's small, but they keep them on. And the one they keep on almost all the time is their business. So it would be like me buying Spark Marketer uh, keyword, okay, in AdWords. So if somebody typed in Spark Marketer, so if somebody types in your business specifically, that ad word would come up. You always want to control your business in that. And I've got other AdWords people saying that's the dumbest buy because they're cheap and da 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 da. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that go out and buy your other people's names. And so when somebody types that in directly, guess whose AdWords comes up? Not the company. So that's the one that I tell people you should always have on no matter what. So they keep their AdWords on. They've kept their Facebook ads on. They've kept everything on. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Now, I do have some smaller companies that have lost some people during this time. And I think there's a fear that if you cut back on your marketing, you're just going to tick people off. And I understand that. So what I'm talking about, if you need to cut back on the leads marketing, I think that's probably okay, but don't cut back on your branding. And the reason is, if yes, today everything is crazy, but we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. I mean, I actually was on a text conversation with Jerry just a few minutes before we started here, talking about how this world is crazy. I mean, we all came out of COVID, and now we're kind of headed back into COVID, so we don't know what's going to happen. So it's the same kind of a deal. You don't know, from one day to the next what anything's going to bring. And so instead of just say, "Oh, I'm going to stop everything because today it's this or that," you want to be very consistent with your branding so that people recognize you. That's really what branding marketing is. So let's get in a little bit. So they're committed on the things that they're committed to, and they have a budget, and they brand in their community. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. Uh, Let me tell you the other thing they do not do. They do not rely 100% on Google, Facebook, and AdWords. They just don't stay 100% in the internet world. They use yard signs, billboards, all the other local marketing that you have available to you. Um, so many people get hung up on just being seen online because so many of us, yes, we do search, we're on Google, all that's great. But it's that when somebody sees you every day when they're traveling down the freeway, all of a sudden you get name recognition. People start to know who you are. And so when they think about, oh, I need this thing done, then boom, that happens.
Yeah. It's yeah, the time to put a roof on your house is not when it's raining.
Yeah.
So I keep going back to that analogy, but it really is fitting. It's the thing that keeps coming to mind because so let's talk about branding specifically. And I love the idea of using, community branding, like being present and involved in the community. Um, that's the sort of goodwill marketing that comes back in spades. It's usually inexpensive marketing, but when you're, um, it's an investment for later. It's saving for a rainy day. It's out there in places that will come back to you when you need it. And I like that play a lot. You know, Staying on your customers' minds, your existing customers' minds. I think there's this tendency to get a little bit, lazy with when we're so flush with work to just focus on what's coming through the door because it's just this constant effortless stream of people that just keep showing up, and so we'll just keep taking it as it comes, and we forget sometimes that it's still very important to continue nurturing the relationship you have with existing customers. So just staying in, top of their mind, even if you can't get to them. We were talking with Renee earlier uh, about, the possibility of just sending a postcard to let people know that the situation right now is such that we are struggling to get to everybody that we normally would be able to get to this time of year. So just know that if you've been our customer in the past, we'd love to continue serving you, and it's important to go ahead and call us and let's get you on the books. But just know that we're scheduled out kind of far, and we're going to work with you the best that we can. I think that's a great way of getting in front of somebody, even when you can't. When you're not asking them to give you a call and schedule service right away, and it keeps the fire stoked a little bit with the existing customers that you have.
Yeah, and I like what Jerry has said here. You've got to keep your name in front of your community, or your community is going to forget you exist. I mean, seriously. And the economy's all change. I mean, if you've been alive as long as Jerry and I have, and I'm probably older than Jerry, I don't even know. But I can tell you the economy has not stayed the same ever. So it's just the way it works.
It ebbs and flows, and marketing is adaptable, and it's adaptive. You can purpose it and repurpose it for exactly what you need at the time, and use it as a tool to help you do what you need to do. So right now, branding is a great thing to be doing. Looking for those opportunities to consolidate your brand, make sure that it's recognizable, that people immediately associate what you do with your visual brand out in the community, so that you get those opportunities when you need them.
So, and we've talked about some of these before, but it's like that old adage: you have to hear something 7, 8, 11, 17. Mine, I think, is 24 times before you actually get it. So we're just going to go through this list. I mean, most of you guys know this, but if you guys can think of anything that we're missing on this list, please put it in the comments. We don't know everything, though sometimes we think we do. We really don't, and admit to that. So here's just a list of some of the things you can do in your communities to stay top of mind on your customers and really brand your business well. So you've got truck wraps, you've got the uniforms, you've got the things that you leave behind, whether it's brochures or calendars or cards or whatever those things are that you want to leave behind once you've done that. Billboards, which we talked about a while ago. And part of billboards are things like the benches, the bus benches, and those kind of things in your community. You've got I know realtors love to put their information on the grocery carts here in our area. So there's a lot of different types of billboards that may not be just a billboard. There's probably not for a chimney company, but if you want to put a billboard in the restroom when somebody's in the restroom and shuts the door, there's the advertisement. Those are just those kind of things that go on. Sponsorships. So many times we totally forget about sponsorships. Sponsorships are everywhere, from golf tournaments to little league to plays to dance, school functions, scouts. All everybody is looking for sponsors. So just look throughout your community and see if you can find some areas. And here's the thing: in your community, a lot of times these sponsorships are really affordable. I mean, they're very affordable, and you get seen by a lot of people. We both moved, but we used to live in East Nashville, and I just saw the advertisement for a festival that started probably 20 years ago. I don't know. It's a long time, called the Tomato Fest.
2004.
2004, Tomato Fest. All right. I think the first couple of years, maybe 5,000 people came, maybe. They're expecting 250,000 people coming to the Tomato Fest this week. And the same vendors that were there in 2004, a lot of them are the same vendors that are there now. I mean, but it's just grown. So all those people, are going to be at that festival this weekend. So those are the types of things that are in a lot of our communities, and we don't realize how valuable those things are. It's really, nonprofits, trade shows, radio and TV. Right now, radio and TV are suffering for ads. And I've heard many, many people say, man, I didn't think I was, ever going to get on the radio, but they approached me and it was cheap. Same deal with in some areas with TV. So all these places are places that you can show up and just get in front of your customer. And hey, Derek, good to see you. Says, and what you guys are doing right now is one excellent way, which is true. You can do a local live in your area. I know Lee Roth is doing one. We probably ought to get him on one of these days. Lee, if you're up to it, I'd love to get you on as a guest to talk about how you're using Facebook and Facebook Live in your community. That would be great. If anybody is interested in that, we'd love to do that, because it really is a great, great way to get in front of a local market. Lee says I'm in, so we'll get a hold of you, Lee. We'll get it scheduled. That'd be great. So these are all the things that can be done, but we have to think outside the box sometimes too. There's a lot of times, if you are brave enough to walk into the local television station and tell them what you do and tell them that there is value in what you do, but consumers don't understand it, and here's all the different things you could talk about. I know several people that have actually done that, and they have segments now on local TV where they're brought in, once a month, once a week sometimes, and they have little segments there. So these are all ways to just brand your business. Now, you do that, something on TV, you're going to get a lot more business. So you probably need to be prepared, because that's just one of those things that happens. But everybody can do, and you don't have to do all of them, but everybody can do something. And
Well,
that's really the thing.
here's the thing is that a lot of these branding plays also help to solve the real underlying problem with having too much work, which is I need to find good quality people to work in my business so that I can grow and get more of these jobs and seize more of these opportunities that we have. And when you're branded in the market and a well-known, well-seen, plastered everywhere kind of a brand, I mean, there's a lot of good techs that would jump from one company to another because they want to work for the guy who's on TV every week. There's a lot of good people that want to work for a company that has, some brand recognition, and you have a chance to be the face of your company and show potential prospective job candidates what kind of boss you are and why they should come work with you, just by exposing your company to the world and to the community that you serve. And so you can solve that problem as well. And that would be where I would end this, is like, when you have an opportunity to get good people and use marketing to help you get them, that's a great use of your marketing dollars. And should you be doing that right now? Yeah, you should be talking about how you use marketing to find better people to work in your business.
Yes, you should. And before you leave, guys, if you could give us a thumbs up, a blue thumbs up, a white thumbs up, what do you call it? Red heart, that would be awesome. Facebook likes that stuff. My marketing department, we have a marketing department. They say, you need to ask, you need to get those people to do that. So I'm asking, I'm begging, I'm no. Um, anyway, we really do appreciate all of y'all. And next week, we're going to do something a little bit different. And I hope you guys are excited about this. We are all speaking. Jonathan, Christian, Carter, and myself will be at the CSIA homecoming. We're all speaking there. We've got 4 sessions, all about marketing. So we decided that next Thursday, we are going to be doing our live from the CSIA homecoming. We have made a commitment to do it every week, no matter where we are. That's where we are. So we're going to do it from there. And we hope to grab some guests to have on that are there to kind of give some highlights and things that they've really gotten out of the homecoming. But because we want to stay with marketing, we're also going to ask them a couple of marketing questions. So just kind of off the cuff. So it ought to be fun. Never done it that way before, but you know what? There's a first time for everything. So we're gonna jump in with both feet and have a little fun. So with that, guys, thank you very much. If anybody has any comments that they want to add, that'd be great. If not, we're right at 28 minutes. We are really trying to keep it under 30.
I'll take it.
So we've done a good job because we can talk. We do know this. So thanks, guys. We always are so appreciative of all of y'all, and wish you the best. And Lee, I'm going to be in touch with you soon. Get something on your schedule, and we will talk to you then. You guys have a great rest of your week. And if you're at the homecoming, we'll see you next week.
Take care and stay safe.